Hey, brother.
Hey, brother.
So we're going to talk about Iron Man today. The Marvel Universe. Robert Downey Jr. is iconic as Iron Man, but if we were to pull Emilius and pick somebody that could just never play Iron Man, not in a million years.
Yeah.
This is something that John Milius might do to screw with somebody. This is something we're going to try and do.
Yeah, we did this with Conan before and with Spider-Man.
We did this with Conan the Barbarian, and Spider-Man.
I think we decided that Danny DeVito was the trump card, that Danny DeVito could only play a Danny DeVito role, and, obviously he couldn't be Iron Man, but I think... I think the cool thing about Iron Man, though, is that you need someone, first of all, who feels like they could be intelligent enough to play Iron Man.
Yeah.
So they had Tom Cruise lined up for Iron Man.
Yes.
And he didn't work out. But
I think he could have done it, though.
I think he could have done it. I think he actually could have felt intelligent enough to play Iron Man.
Yes.
Because I think because he pulls it off in the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, well, I feel like what people forget about Tom Cruise is that he's a good actor.
Yes.
Like he's a really good actor on top of also being an incredible stuntman. So yeah, I think he'd totally be able to pull it off.
But who couldn't do it because they just don't come off? Maybe Michael Rapaport.
That's a great. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He does not come off as being super intelligent. It doesn't mean he isn't super intelligent, but he just he doesn't come off that way. Just his look, his manner of speaking feels like more kind of blue collar and less scientific. I'm building a robot machine that I'm going to put my body inside of.
That's a really
that's a good choice
pick.
though, huh?
That might be the best pick that you could have possibly.
It's kind of one of those ones where
I was gonna say Keanu Reeves because while he's a leading man,
I agree.
He is in real life very intelligent.
Yes,
he doesn't come across that way. And I don't know if he could play it kind of like the neurotic intelligence the way that like someone like Robert Downey Jr. is. Like Keanu Reeves playing somebody full of himself is off-putting. I can't see it happen.
I don't know if
he's too nice a guy.
The thing is, I don't think that's necessarily an Iron Man trait, though. I think that's a Robert Downey Jr. trait. Because Robert Downey Jr. plays that character in every movie he's in. He's playing the arrogant. He's that's his stick.
Kind of. Yeah.
Tom Cruise would play it much more smiley.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. Well, I guess the original Tony Stark was based off of Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
And Howard Hughes was very
neurotic.
I guess quirky. Yes, neurotic. And he was an interesting guy. Had kind of like, we'll call them intricacies.
Should we give people a briefing of who Howard Hughes was?
Like a very brief briefing. If you haven't seen The Aviator, it's a pretty good movie.
DiCaprio.
Scorsese. Howard Hughes was a multi-millionaire from like the 20s and 30s. He was a pilot. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, he's done so many things. He was a filmmaker. He was a pilot.
He was like the richest man in America.
Yeah,
and he
did whatever he felt like.
He had extreme OCD, and it got worse with age. And he became a shut-in. Yes. Right. And disappeared. And he used to do kind of like naval contracts where like aviation contracts for the military where he was building airplanes.
Yeah.
And he was an eccentric who got into all sorts of different things.
Yeah, basically whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Whether he knew how to do it or not. That's basically how he got into filmmaking. He's like, I'm just going to throw money at it and see if we can make something happen. So yeah, like this is the guy that Tony Stark was kind of based off of. Just someone who's like, wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. Yeah. Does whatever he feels like, and kind of has some neuroses. But yeah, I mean, aside from Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, like, I think, I think
it doesn't get much better than Michael Rapaport.
Well, yeah, Michael Rapaport. I don't know if Michael Rapaport is big enough, though, where it's that leading man You know, because like you could always be like Steve Buscemi could never be Iron Man.
Steve Buscemi.
You know? And the weird thing about Steve Buscemi is that he'll play both the dumbest guy in the movie and he'll play the smartest guy in the movie, and he pulls it off.
Yes. Yeah. He also does like the worst person on the planet and the nicest person on the planet.
Yes.
He does like he's got some range.
Yeah.
But I could never play a ladies' man.
Yeah.
He could play a ladies' man. I believe it. He's a good enough actor.
I think he actually could play a ladies' man if you gave him the right character type, where he's just charismatic and maybe he's wealthy. He's popular for some reason, like he's
you're
he's
describing Iron Man.
No, I'm not. He's Sully Sullivan, where like he lands the plane in the harbor.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like he's got like a military background as like a fighter jet pilot, but it's like he's not the best looking guy, but he's got all these accolades.
Yeah.
And he's charismatic, and he's kind, and he rescues puppies. He rescues puppies from drowning. People would like who he is.
Yeah, I believe all those things about Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, but he couldn't. I don't think he could play.
I hope they're true. No, yeah, I mean he probably couldn't. I think maybe. Here's a question: I was going to say Christopher Walken, but the more that I think about it, the more I think, maybe in his prime he could have played Iron Man, and it would have totally worked.
Young Christopher Walken could have played Iron Man.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The other thing I'm thinking about, though,
does one creepy smile, and the girl is his.
I know. I think you nailed it.
Come back to my room, and I'll kill you.
I think why is he turning into a serial killer in an Iron Man movie?
Because he looks like a serial killer.
Yeah. I think that the not being able to pull off the I'm one of the smartest people on the planet, I think Keanu Reeves hits that well because he's got that superstardom. But the next thing I'm thinking about is like the person who doesn't feel like they're one of the richest people on the planet. You know, like who doesn't feel that way? Like John Goodman would never really feel that way.
Yeah. Okay. This might sound weird, but I kind of feel like Channing Tatum.
Oh.
Like he seems like he might do really well for himself, but like as a plumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's maybe making six figures, but like not seven figures.
Channing Tatum might be a perfect pick for both someone who's not going to be able to come off as super intelligent because he doesn't have the right look.
Yeah.
Or the right tone. And he's not going to come off as being super rich either.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he does feel everyman, which is a great quality to have, I think. But he does feel like the everyman. Yeah. I think it's maybe easier to have a career as an actor if you're someone that people can relate to. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, I can't see him as just pulling off like I own all of these cars. Like it's just okay, dude. Like give me a break. Would you inherit these cars from your grandfather? I make money with my brain science. No, you don't. Sir. What about
poor Channing Tatum?
Do you think
He's probably a very nice guy.
DiCaprio could pull off Iron Man?
Yeah, he played Howard Hughes.
Yeah, like he could pull it off pretty easily. There's always those people like Seth Rogen that are just like an obvious no.
Yeah, these are just off the table.
Or they just don't.
It's more fun to come up with somebody that you would think would work, but it's like the more you think about it, it's like it's not going to work. Right?
Yeah. Paul Rudd couldn't do it.
Oh. You know what? Yeah, I think you're right.
But he does have the look.
He's got the look.
Where he looks like, he could be, he could be the son of a billionaire and be this. And he comes off as being intelligent.
Yeah.
But he never comes off as arrogant. Like he's smarter than everybody else. He doesn't ever come off as being where you feel like this guy's the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, I can't imagine him saying something without apologizing afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that kind of like the disqualifying factor? Is just if someone seems too nice, they just can't be like that super rich, super smart, arrogant Tony Stark.
I think so. It is. it's an interesting character, Iron Man, because almost all the other Marvel stars surrounding it could never play Iron Man and pull it off. Like,
Yeah.
Chris Evans couldn't do it. You just don't. It's Captain America. Is that who I'm talking about? Yeah. I don't think he could do it.
There's so many Chris's.
I know, you're like...
My brain short-circuited for a second, and I was just, like, filing through all of them. I'm
Chris
like, is he
Hemsworth
talking about the only Chris who's not in the Marvel Universe? That's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine couldn't do it.
Chris Pine...
Actually, Chris Pine might be the best.
No, he could.
He's the best choice for it, I would think, out of the Chris's.
James... he played James Kirk.
He played Kirk, yeah.
And he played Kirk very... kind of in that way, Tony Starkish.
He actually might be able to do it.
William Shatner could have done it in his prime.
I don't know if William Shatner could have done it.
1960s William Shatner.
I think Chris Pine actually has the one-up on Shatner.
Okay.
Because I think Chris
in
Pine
both Star Trek and in Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, I think Shatner felt like a egotistical, or Kirk, I should say, felt like an egotistical winner.
Yeah.
That was almost like, huh? You know?
Okay.
Where it's like someone's saying something that makes a lot of sense. Like, we should try and reason with this alien species. And Kirk's like, we should blow them out of the sky. And it just works. It just works.
Yeah.
But I think Chris Pine actually feels like, no, I have a plan. Sometimes it's a little bit more aggressive, but sometimes the more aggressive plan is the way to go.
Yeah.
You know, I think he actually could pull off Iron Man. He's the Chris that could pull off, but what's the other Chris? The Guardians Chris?
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt couldn't do it.
Okay. Yeah, he might be able to pull off like the arrogance, but I don't know if he could pull off the intelligence in the way that that Robert Downey Jr. could.
And it's just
what Channing Tatum I think could have done though is maybe Captain America.
You think Channing Tatum could have done Captain America?
I think that he could do he's good at being the kind of football jock bully, but he could also be like the very nice kind of funny guy.
Yes, he plays. He does play that character. He's the everyman,
He's somebody you can relate to. I think that he could totally have done Captain America.
Yeah, he actually would have done okay as Captain America. I think Chris Evans was the better pick, but
yeah, it's hard not to go with Chris Evans. Who could never play Captain America?
Yeah, Channing Tatum. It's weird because there is like a look too, where Chris Evans looks like a Greek statue, like the way they would carve the Greek statue, and Channing Tatum looks a little bit. He still kind of looks like that, but like almost like the Greek statue that got like somebody, like a barbarian hit it with the hammer in the face afterwards. Still great looking, but he looks a little bit more beat up. You know what I mean? He looks more beat up. Like he's been in, Channing Tatum looks like he's been in a couple more schoolyard fights than he should have been in.
He's more weathered.
Yes, he looks more weathered.
He looks like he could take care of himself.
Yeah.
And that's not Steve Rogers before the serum.
Yeah, but that might work. If you're having Captain America be a little bit more, he's a little bit more like a brute, as opposed to Chris Evans. Captain America really does play it like he's, the most perfect. He's a good old boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Have we? The whole other side to it is now you need someone that feels they feel mechanical enough that they could actually build the suit in the first place. It's so weird how Robert Downey Jr. pulled this off when you think about it. Yeah. Because it's like you need to feel like you're the smartest person in the room. You need to feel like you're the richest person in the room, and you need to feel like you're the most mechanical, like
hands-on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're both the most blue collar, richest,
and white collar.
Yeah, like you'd be the smartest person in the classroom.
Yeah.
You're the professor. You're the richest person. And you're also the guy in the mechanic shop who's the best guy in the mechanic shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somehow Robert Downey Jr. pulled this off.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise could do it.
Tom Cruise could do it.
Once again. Would be played differently though, but he would pull it off.
I mean, you're describing me.
Yeah, me. Am I the perfect Iron Man?
The only people that could do it is Robert Downey Jr. and Peter L. Hughes.
Yeah, we're actually looking for the unperfect Iron Man, so...
Maybe Tom Cruise, I don't know.
So you fail.
You know what? Christian Bale could totally do it.
Christian Bale could do it, yeah. Christian Bale could do it. But we're looking for who couldn't do it. Who's someone...
that's right.
Who's an A-lister?
We're pulling Amelia's here.
Who couldn't pull it off. Will Smith could do it.
Will Smith could do it, yeah.
You know.
Denzel could do it.
The funny thing is, Don Cheadle could do it. And Don Cheadle plays Warhammer. Or is that what his name is?
Close enough. War Machine.
War Machine, yeah.
He plays War Machine. But yeah, no, he could totally do it. He's, I mean, when you start getting into the actors that are just so good that they could do anything, they could play Iron Man. And so what you really are describing is like, these are the best actors on the planet. Yeah. They're the ones that play Iron Man.
You got to be incredibly intelligent, probably as a person outside of an actor to be able to pull off either that or,
that kind of, Well, it is weird because like he's very upfront about how much smarter he is than everybody else, but is still also very subtle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's not writing math equations on the glass to show how smart he is,
Yeah.
Like
Paul Giamatti could not play Iron Man.
Clive Owen. He's never struck me as terribly intelligent on screen.
Clive Owen, he doesn't do a good American accent, so he wouldn't.
That's true.
He wouldn't pull that aspect of it off very well. What about someone like Matt Damon?
I think probably.
I think probably as well, because he did Good Will Hunting, and he was believable as that. Yeah.
That's about as good. Yeah.
But he does feel blue collar enough that he could make the machines. And then he's also played characters that are the smartest people in the room.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I think that if he didn't try and make the American accent, Pierce Brosnan could probably do it.
Yeah.
But Daniel Craig could not.
Yeah, that's interesting. Which of the Bonds? Sean Connery could pull it off.
Sean Connery could pull it off. Yeah.
George Lazenby could not. Timothy Dalton couldn't pull it off.
Right.
Roger Moore might be able to.
I mean,
he might be able to.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen Roger Moore in anything where he wasn't 60. Like,
he was the oldest person to play, at least starting in. The oldest person to play Bond.
It made sense because like all they were doing was replacing Sean Connery, and he was around that age. So they were just replacing the actor, but keeping James Bond the same age. And then they were like, "Oh man, now we're stuck with Roger Moore."
What's that Harry Potter kid's name? He couldn't play Iron Man.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe couldn't do it.
No, he couldn't do it. But Elijah Wood. No.
Could Elijah Wood do it?
You know what?
I don't think he could. I don't think he feels like he could build the thing now.
No, yeah, you're right. He wouldn't be able to do the mechanic thing.
Yeah.
He could do the other stuff though.
Yeah,
he's a very versatile actor.
Yeah, he does feel that way, and it's interesting because they didn't go the route of. I guess I don't think in the comic books Tony Stark is like a meek person. I think he actually has like a heart condition, which is why he wears the suit. It's something like that. Anyway.
Something like that, yeah.
But they didn't go the route of like having a smaller kind of meek person like Elijah Wood in the Iron Man suit.
Yeah. Or like a heavyset guy just in the Iron Man suit. Because the suit's doing most of the heavy lifting, right? It's not like...
Yeah, they got like Chris Farley. Chris Farley can play Iron Man. John Candy.
But But I would totally watch that movie, though.
John Candy is Iron Man. But when he's in the suit, he just looks like normal.
I just like imagining...
What?
I'm just imagining the voices, like when you say Chris Farley, you say John Candy, and just thinking of the voices, like trying to deliver some, like, you know, word's good for business. Like, it's like, get out of here, John Candy, the nicest guy on the planet.
You know who would be an interesting pick? Jackie Chan.
That would be an interesting pick.
I think so long as you were like, no, he's, you know, Chinese, you leave it like that.
Right.
Because he's going to have the accent. I think he actually works. I think Jackie Chan would feel intelligent enough.
Yeah.
I think he would feel like he's mechanical enough. And I think he would feel like he's rich enough.
Yeah.
You know, I think he could pull it off.
Yeah. I think you're right about that.
But I think
Jackie Chan could pull it off.
But he wouldn't be an American Iron Man. He'd be a Chinese Iron Man.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he could be he could be like an American citizen who was born in China.
Right.
You know, that situation. But
yeah.
He wouldn't be like a born in America.
You're saying because of the accent. Like, it's
Well, it's the same thing with Pierce Brosnan, where it's like you're a British
that's
Iron
kind of
Man.
the thing. Like, Pierce Brosnan would be a great pick for it, but like, don't do the American accent because like,
I agree.
It's gonna ruin the performance. And it's
like,
along those same lines with Jackie Chan. Don't try the American accent. Like, we'll just rewrite it so that it comes from China.
And you don't have to do an American accent in America because everyone's here.
That's true.
And no one's like no one would think
we're pretty diverse here in this country.
Yeah.
It's like we're not really going to question it.
I thought of
there are a lot of accents.
I thought of the worst person ever for Iron Man, Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Someone who thinks he's intelligent but isn't. Someone who thinks he's dangerous but isn't. Someone who thinks he could fix a car but probably can't.
I think he is all those things. But I think Steven Seagal. I think he is all of those things. I think he is intelligent. I think he is dangerous. I think he's also not. He might not be the most honest person on the planet. He exaggerates. I think.
Yes. Well, that's definitely true. Yeah, that's definitely true. I think he's a Frank Dukes. You know, he's. I think he's like. Dukes? Yeah.
I think he might be like ridiculously talented at stuff, though.
I mean, probably. I know that he's proven his marksmanship. Like, he's actually a very, very talented marksman.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He could probably handle himself in a fight, but like,
I wouldn't mess with him.
Sparring, yeah, sure, but like a street fight, I don't know if this guy can. Like,
I mean, I think if you put him, it's hard to say though. I think if you put him in a street fight against, like a street fighter, I think the street fighter would win. I think if you put him in a street fight against, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know. Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is that he can't act, so he can't play Iron Man.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't come off. He doesn't come off as being intelligent because of the tone of his voice.
He pulls off the arrogance.
Yeah, he pulls off the arrogance.
That's about it.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't come. Yeah. He doesn't come off as that super intelligence. The super intelligence, I think, is the tough thing that you need to have the proper tone to really.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I guess.
Well, anyway, Steven Seagal would be a bad pick.
It'd be a bad pick. Steven Seagal shows up at my door. I heard you didn't think I was very dangerous. I'm like, what? Open your eyes, dude.
I know, you don't have to go challenge someone dangerous. Don't challenge us.
Yeah.
That doesn't prove that you're dangerous.
I'm here to prove myself. Like, I'm like 140 pounds soaking wet. You're like 6'2", 350 pounds. I couldn't take you in a fight.
I know. It's like, you may as well beat up a child.
Give me a little more credit than that. You're like, no,
Run.
You're my little brother.
It's your best
You're my little brother.
Run.
Yeah, he'll never catch me.
I think you could outrun him.
Yeah, I could outrun him. I ran cross country. I could outrun him for 6 miles.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough the tough thing is to come up with someone who's big enough that they would suggest the part to them.
Yeah.
Like Keanu Reeves. Like Keanu Reeves is big enough where they'd be like, hey, let's have Keanu Reeves play Iron Man. We can get Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Then there'd be one person who's like, I don't think he's going to be able to pull that off because Iron Man's supposed to be the smartest guy in the room. Yeah. And Keanu Reeves doesn't have that style of acting.
He's also, you know what? Here's another thing that he's supposed to be really good at. He's the one doing the presentations. He's a salesman. Yeah. So he's also like super like, not just like charismatic. But yeah, he can sell.
He's convincing.
Yeah. Yes. So he's out there. He's like, "This is the Jericho."
Yeah.
It's like that. All right, Keanu. Like It's very impressive, but I'm not going to buy from you.
Yeah.
And Keanu is very charismatic, but not really a salesman. You know. Like he couldn't play a car salesman. He's too likable.
Yeah, he might be able to play a used car salesman.
A used car salesman, yes.
Yeah.
But not like, you know.
Yeah, not you're making $1 billion deals.
Yeah, what do I gotta do to get you in this car today? Like, that's not Keanu. Come on.
Yeah. Could Patrick Swayze have done it in his prime?
Oh my gosh. Probably?
Maybe. Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Swayze could have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. Could Ed Harris have done it?
Ed Harris.
Yeah.
That is an interesting pick. That's a good pick.
He's kind of like hitting all the, you know.
He is, yeah.
He's firing on all cylinders, but I don't know if he's got the look necessarily. That maybe because I think they would want someone who's got that more like Playboy look to him. But Ed Harris could look. Yeah. I mean, anyone I think looks kind of like. Anyone looks like a Playboy when you're basically saying like they're the richest person in the room and the smartest person in the room, and they have all these things going for them.
Ed Harris strikes me as the type of guy who's a self-made billionaire, not someone who inherited money from his dad and then built upon it. You know, it's like this is a guy who started with nothing and then became the richest man in the world.
Yeah,
that's a little different. That's a different attitude. It's something. It's better. Mm-hmm. Come get me. You know, those legacy billionaires. Screw you.
Well, there's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong. Well, you can't help the fact that you're a legacy billionaire. You're just born into it.
No, yeah, I just don't like, you know, the attitude of like, oh, you're a self-made. Yeah, I'm self-made. Something you could have never done.
Yeah, but people who can't do self-made have to do that to make themselves feel better.
Grow up. Welcome to the world. Sometimes things happen, you don't like it. Too bad.
Yeah.
You just got a glimpse of what it's like to be poor.
I don't know, man. I think it would be difficult, though. It would be difficult to be the child of somebody who's outlandishly successful and you don't stack up. You don't really have like that same level of intelligence or that's, you know. It would be difficult to be like Tom Hanks' son. Not that I'm talking bad about Colin Hanks, but Tom Hanks was like the biggest star in the world. Yeah. And Colin Hanks was a movie star, did a decent job, didn't have really his dad's charisma, acting chops. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And
I guess I can see that.
Sorry, Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, like you came after one of the best actors we've ever had.
Yeah.
You know?
It is hard to come after like greatness in that way, where it's like if people are expecting big things from you. I mean, you know, I guess that's difficult.
I would pick a different direction. Because I would be like, if my dad was Muhammad Ali, I would not try and be a boxer. I'd be like, I'm going to do my own thing.
I feel like I would try and be a boxer, and then I would you know, be failing at it.
Yeah, then you get knocked out by like Frazier's son.
And then I'd be like, yeah, but like I don't know. It's a personality type thing, you know. I just like, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I'm going to try harder then, and I'm going to
No.
beat my dad. I'm going to beat the best, and I'm going to, like, that's just...
I think it's you can do it. You're probably going to be good at it because you're Muhammad Ali's son.
Yeah,
but you're not.
Yeah.
But you already know you're not.
I'm just never going to stack up.
That you're not going to stack up in that way as a boxer.
I can't imagine not trying to.
Not trying to do it.
Yeah, like there's just the idea that like I could never be that good. It's like I'm gonna keep going until I prove everybody else wrong, or until I prove myself wrong, or until like that's just. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that I just kind of like dive into, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with
that's what I'm like.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like I agree with the like I want to do something. It doesn't necessarily matter to me whether I have some like talent for it or not. I'm just gonna push and try and get good at it. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is more the like, you would be the Colin Hanks of boxing.
Yeah, maybe. But I what I'm saying is that like you're saying you would go in a different direction, and I'm saying I would dive into it deeper.
Yeah, you try and pull a Creed, where you're Apollo Creed's son.
Yes.
And this is kind of how you prove yourself as.
Yeah, don't call me Creed's son. Like that's not who I am. I'm Adonis.
Yeah.
Like I'm making a name for myself. I'm not some. It's just. I mean, it's a personality type. Like it's not even to say that I wouldn't be proud of where I came from. Yeah. I would be. But I'd also be like extremely driven to try and surpass whatever that, legendary status was.
Yeah.
And, I'd probably fail. If I'm coming from something like Tom Hanks, if I'm coming from something like Muhammad Ali, who like just the absolute best in history. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try and surpass it. I'd probably fail.
Right.
But like, I would just keep going and I would just keep failing. And I would die a failure. And I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Yeah. Huh.
It's the way things are looking anyway.
Yeah. I can see myself doing that. Yes. If that's what I wanted to do, that's what I would go towards.
Yeah.
I don't see myself probably wanting to do it though. That's what I would think.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't get to you. You wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't eat at you in that way. But when you have your eyes on something, when you set your sights on something, you're like the most motivated person I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, I got to do this thing. I'm going to do it for like 10 hours a day until I'm the absolute best in the world at it. And then when you get sick of it, you get sick of it. But like, like that's who you are. Yeah, like if you have your sights on something, then it's like anybody else who's doing that thing, they got to watch out for you.
I'm all becoming a boxer in my 40s, getting knocked out. This was a bad idea.
Maybe.
I'm Muhammad Ali's son. He doesn't even know who he is anymore. We don't even know Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we?
I think.
Who do we even land on?
We got a little bit off track. I think Michael Rappaport was the best choice, though. And it comes right down to
that. Yeah.
That first pick was really the best one. So yeah, I don't know if it gets much better than that. We got a little bit off the rails. We've been making a habit, not really a habit. We did it once of stealing AI's job. Some people are afraid of AI taking our jobs, writers specifically. But there's also like casting directors. And I thought, we could ask ChatGPT to come up with a movie for us, like maybe a genre, maybe some characters. And then we could take the casting director job from AI and we could cast the movie based on what they give us.
Yeah.
And that's something that we could get set up if I could reach my keyboard over here.
Yeah, if you get your act straight.
Okay, so yeah, let's get ChatGPT to come up with at least a premise for us.
Okay.
and then we can cast the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that perfect cast for this fake movie that ChatGPT came up with.
Okay.
What do I ask? Do we start with a genre?
Yeah, let's start with like a genre. See what genre it gives us, so then we can kind of take it from there.
All right, can you give us a random genre for this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, he's giving us a blend. How about a blend of science fiction and film noir? Oh, I'm liking this so far. Okay.
Not bad.
It could be set in a dystopian future where a detective must navigate through a city filled with advanced technology and corruption to solve a mysterious crime.
Okay, so this movie has already been made. It's called Dark City.
Yes. All right, so it's already been cast because it's already been made.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Dark City's a lot more noir than The Matrix.
So this is sci-fi noir. So it's basically just set in a future dystopian Earth in a city. And then it's just...
Harrison Ford, Daryl Hannah,
Rutger
Hauer.
It's called Blade Runner.
Wait a second. Yeah, this has already been made.
So we have to actually come up with a little bit of a story here.
Yeah, well, we'd also need characters so that we can cast them. So, so what should I ask ChatGPT?
Yeah, well, do we have enough where we can come up with a little bit of a story, and then we can cast from that story, or do we need to keep asking ChatGPT for stuff? I think we have enough, right?
I mean, if we wanted to write the story, we could.
Yeah.
But our focus is more on casting.
Okay, so let's do that.
He's coming up with the movie.
So ask it what the... Yeah, you have to ask it now, like, what's the conflict, and what's our character's motivation, that kind of stuff.
What is the mystery that needs to be solved?
Yes. There you go. Nice. Let's see how...
Oh my gosh. You know what I should be doing is wearing my glasses. The mystery could revolve around the sudden disappearance of influential figures within the city. Okay,
that's not bad.
So the city's power structure. The disappearances seem connected to a series of clandestine experiments conducted by a powerful corporation.
Yeah.
Hinting at a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of society. Oh my gosh, the light I can't see. As the detective delves deeper, they uncover a shocking truth about the nature of reality itself. It's Dark City, leading to a race against time to expose the truth before it's too late.
Wow.
Okay.
You're good at reading.
They really did. You know what?
You're good at that.
Yeah, I don't have the best eyes. Monitor's a little far away.
I have an approach to this.
Okay, yeah.
It's a little bit... I think what it is asking us to do is to make this like... There's a corporation that is intentionally doing something bad. Kind of like we're dealing with the Umbrella Corp from like Resident Evil.
Evil, yeah. Right.
I would go a slightly different direction in that there's a corporation that's doing something that's not bad, but is having a bad outcome, and they're not even fully aware of it. Maybe there's only like a couple people that are aware of it, if anything, and
so
are
these
just
are
like
unintended consequences.
Yes, and what I think is they've got. So here's the idea I've got. They've got like a Hadron particle collider, like the most powerful ever made, and when they're hitting, it's creating a rift in reality, and that rift is then like separating. However powerful the explosion is, the separation of the rift is happening. So
rather than it dissipating, it's staying open.
It's like it's
traveling.
But I would say it's like it's rifting in two different places. So it's hitting here, and then it hits somewhere else. Almost like some like weird. Yes. And then it's snatching people. So at first it's snatching people that don't really aren't high status. Just all of a sudden some people are going missing.
Okay.
And everyone's like, okay, what's the big deal? And now somebody, a politician goes missing, and now everyone's on high alert.
What about this? I rather than going missing,
okay,
it's a rift in reality into a, I don't know, alternate universe.
Okay.
And the people are being replaced with their alternates. Then, like...
Yes.
So now, all of a sudden, these politicians are acting weird. They're acting different. Their policies are changing. These, like, high-level people, these high-level billionaires...
Yeah.
Are, like, you know, their motivations are now changed. And it's, like, it's a big deal when it happens to people who have power.
Yeah.
Because now they're, like, making decisions that are affecting everybody else.
It feels... I don't know. It feels... Something about it feels cheesy to me, but...
I mean, look what we're talking about here. I mean, it's Dark City. He's explaining Dark City.
We could... but I think that's actually the better way to go for casting.
The cheesy way? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's cheesy or if it just feels cheesy because, you know, that just has to do with preference. Or it has to do with, like, maybe I saw a Star Trek episode that feels similar to what you're saying. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's going to be true of anything sci-fi.
Yes, I agree.
Star Trek has had how many different shows now? A bunch of different episodes.
Yeah, okay. So I think we have it, though.
We have the, yeah, what we need is, like, our characters. We have the detective.
We need the detective.
We need a detective. We need a politician.
Yeah. We need a scientist.
We need a scientist. And then we need, I don't know, like, should I ask him for a couple others?
We could use a, what's it called? We need a lay person. So we need, like, maybe even like a love interest.
Okay. Yeah.
And their... maybe their friend, something where it isn't like went missing like a month or two ago, or they got switched. They got switched a month or two ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So we already have the characters then. We just need to cast it. So it's just we have the detective, we have a scientist, we have a politician,
right.
We have a love interest, and we have a love interest's friend who's
switched.
Different.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Are there any other details that we need about our movie before we can come up with our perfect cast here?
I don't think so. I think we're okay.
Okay.
So, is the detective the first person that we cast?
I think so.
Yeah. Our like lead guy. I mean, DiCaprio's always a good pick, but
DiCaprio's always a good pick, but
should we go younger?
I don't know. Is it modern day or is it of all time? Because, like, you know, I keep thinking of Harrison Ford, but that's just because I keep thinking of Blade Runner.
I think I would say you just pick your perfect cast.
Okay.
And you could have a 20-year-old Harrison Ford next to a 20-year-old Ryan Gosling, even though that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Colin Hanks.
Colin Hanks. Yeah. Steven Seagal.
Poor Colin Hanks. Danny DeVito. Michael Rappaport. None of these characters work. None of them. And then we'll have Danny DeVito play the not. There is a Danny DeVito role, and we have Danny DeVito play the not Danny DeVito role.
Yeah.
I think your detective would be somebody like, you know, I mean, Jack Nicholson would be a great pick.
Jack Nicholson would be a great pick.
He might have played the best detective in the history of detective movies, correct? In Chinatown?
That's probably true. Yeah. That is probably true. Yeah, so a young Jack Nicholson in his prime playing the detective.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah. I think that, I would, I don't know. Do you want to lock in on that one?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, like Jack Nicholson.
So Jack Nicholson, Jack Nicholson is the futuristic cop in the noir setting. Yeah. That works out perfectly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
who's the politician?
The politician,
because that's kind of the bad guy here.
Yeah, but he starts out as a good guy if he switches.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, oh man, this is gonna sound weird, but I think Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Like,
That's
given the
not bad.
setting, this is a dystopian future.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with reality. I think that he could pull off like a really interesting kind of nice guy politician that's like
Yeah.
now the bad guy in like this weird kind of sci-fi noir, you know?
Yeah. I would go a different direction, and I would pick Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. I mean,
Because she could pull it off.
She could pull off any of the parts.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'd be hard to pass up an opportunity of casting Meryl Streep.
Yeah, are we just picking the best actors of all time?
I know. Well, that's kind of the problem with being the best of all time. Is like, it's like, well, who plays the scientist? Well, Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Now, here's who I would pick if we're not going with necessarily the best actors of all time. I would pick Charlton Heston as the detective.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
If we're not going for the like Academy Award winning, actor types.
Yeah. So if it is more of like a type, more of a character actor, more of a
Yeah,
Charlton Heston's a good one.
And funnily enough, I would pick Anne Hathaway as the politician if we couldn't get Meryl Streep. Because I think
yeah, she could totally do it.
Yeah, I think she would be really good at it.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good one. I kind of like Anne Hathaway for the politician.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a shame. I would have liked to see Jeff Goldblum in there, but but yeah, Anne Hathaway that's a really good pick.
And then the scientist. Does the scientist change, or does the scientist stay the same person? Because if the scientist changes, now they're maybe causing it. They're the one who's sort of hiding it, or it could be one of the scientists is hiding it because they're, because they changed.
Yeah. I don't know. We maybe should have asked ChatGPT for some more details. We could ask ChatGPT. I still have it open.
Do you want to ask it? It's going to give us something ridiculous.
I know.
It's
we have an
Jean-Luc
idea
Picard
for a scientist character, but we're not sure if they should be a good guy or a bad guy.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
What do you think they should be?
All right. See what it says.
It says, let me get real close to the mic. Oh my gosh. Gave me like 2 paragraphs. For an intriguing dynamic, consider making the scientist character morally ambiguous rather than strictly good or bad. Perhaps they started with good intentions, driven by a desire to push the boundaries of science for the betterment of society. However, as their research progressed, they became increasingly obsessed with their experiments, blurring the lines between ethical boundaries and personal ambition. Scientists could be a complex character displaying both altruistic tendencies and a willingness to cross moral lines in the pursuit of their goals. Their ambiguous nature could create tension and uncertainty for the protagonist as they struggle to determine whether the scientist is an ally or a foe in their investigation. Ultimately, the scientist's actions could challenge the protagonist's beliefs and force them to confront their own moral dilemma.
Wow.
Yeah, a simple yes or no would have sufficed. Okay, so it sounds like they start out good and then they've been switched.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on our story, which the first name that comes to mind for me is Nicolas Cage.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. You want to take his face off.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Nicolas Cage. And then, all of a sudden, it starts out with Nicolas Cage and then it ends with John Travolta. Because he gets...
Yeah. Yeah, because in an alternate universe, it would be John Travolta.
I think Nicolas Cage is actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think
scientist.
we could probably think of a better, like, kind of classical actor, or, you know, like,
yeah.
But yeah, I think Nick Cage is actually really solid for that.
You know, a lot of those classical actors could be really good for the detective too. And
yeah.
I mean, like Steve McQueen would be a great pick for the detective too.
Yes.
And then, oh man, like Robert Redford would be another good pick for the politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of those older actors, like they had kind of a type about them. Mm-hmm. Dustin Hoffman could be the scientist. He could totally pull that off.
Yeah.
Just to name a few. But yeah. I like Nicolas Cage though. I like Nicolas Cage for the scientist.
Yeah. So our Jack Nicholson detective.
Yeah. Or Charlton Heston. I don't know if we decided on one or the other.
I think you go with Jack Nicholson if you can get Jack Nicholson.
You go with Jack Nicholson.
Or
Anne Hathaway politician.
Yeah. Do we give him a love interest? Someone who's had someone go missing, or someone who's had someone go switched. Sorry, I keep saying that. Someone who's had someone switch, and now she's kind of going to like the police.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, well, so
and this happened maybe like a month ago, so it feels like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, that Marty McFly character who's like, this is who the audience is seeing the world through their eyes, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
would probably best be through a love interest.
Yeah,
and then I'm not sure. Given the environment, mm-hmm. I feel like. Maybe Uma Thurman?
Oh, Uma Thurman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like she's kind of the name that comes to mind. Faye Dunaway comes to mind, but I think that's just because of Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown.
So yeah, maybe Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman's a great pick. Who's the person though that Uma Thurman has like who's switched? Because it can't be like her husband, because then you can't have her be a love interest for Jack potentially.
Could be a sibling. A brother or sister.
It could be her mom.
Could be her mom.
Which makes it kind of like...
Her mom and her daughter.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Chinatown spoiler alert. And her uncle. No.
If they,
not her uncle.
If they get it, they get it, and they'll say so in the comments. If they don't get it, then they won't know it's a spoiler.
Yeah, it could be her sister and her mother at the same time.
This could be, yes.
It could be her sister mother.
Yeah, I think it could be. It could be. I think a sibling.
Yeah.
And then it's just picking whoever that sibling
would
be.
Okay, so if it's a younger Uma Thurman, what if it's her grandma? Because her grandma's a little bit older, and then it could just be like older people sometimes change.
Okay.
And she's like, that's not what this is.
That's not what this is, right?
Yeah. And now there's all this thing, and what happens is this happened. This is a little bit more isolated. It happened at first, and it's the first time that it's happened. And the scientists knew like something weird happened. We don't know what it is. Let's shut down. So they shut down for like a month. Then revamped up and were like, okay, like let's try it again. Then the second time that they try it, the scientist gets switched. And now that the scientist is switched, the scientist is covering up the fact that like something weird's happening as well. And they're ramping up the experiment, and now more and more people are switching. And the scientist maybe even is intentionally switching people, like the politician. What? I'm just getting into the story here. Okay?
You're getting into the story. We're not casting. We're writers. We're not casting directors.
Oh, okay, yeah. It helps you cast though when you know.
It's true, yeah. The more you know about the story, the easier it is to cast, kind of.
And there's this one there's this one detail about a locket. No, I'm joking.
I just thought of another really good detective.
Okay. Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh.
Morgan Freeman's great. Yeah.
I think.
Sometimes it's kind of a shame. Like you think of an actor and then like, oh man, it would be a shame not to pick them. You know?
I think you go Jack Nicholson over Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Because Morgan Freeman, even when he was younger, felt older.
He felt in control of the situation.
Yeah. And he feels competent.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is something like Jack is walking the tightrope of competency and just absolutely can't help himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like he can't help himself.
Yeah.
Like in Chinatown, he's always mouthing off to everybody, and it gets him into trouble constantly.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, why aren't you doing things smart?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So I had someone in mind if it were a sibling.
Okay.
Cate Blanchett, who could just kind of turn on a dime, where it's like nicest person you've ever met and like kind of scary now.
Yeah.
Cate Blanchett.
Okay.
If it's someone older, I mean anybody Italian, Olympia Dukakis could totally do something like that.
Olympia Dukakis, yeah, that's a good one.
Or like Burgess Meredith, Mickey from Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we're talking like just an older grandma style character.
Yeah.
It's tough to cast for that person. Because who still has the chops, when they get to be that old.
Yeah. Well, that's why Olympia Dukakis and Burgess Meredith come to mind.
What about Anthony Hopkins?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, that might be a really scary one.
Yes. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. He could be intimidating in 6 different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's hard not to just pick Anthony Hopkins for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go with Anthony Hopkins if I could.
Is that our cast? That might be our cast.
That might be the bulk of it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that about does it. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, ChatGPT. I mean, ChatGPT did a fine job.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. It freaks me out because it'll take me a minute to type something, and then it takes it a second to respond, and it responds more than what I typed.
Yeah, but does it really though? Because you're like, hey, give me a sci-fi or give me a movie, and it's like Dark City. And it's like, oh, okay. It's just it uses 2 paragraphs to tell you.
It gives you the plot.
I'm like, should it be a good guy or a bad guy? Yeah. They're morally ambiguous.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A guy named Neo who feels like reality is off. You just gave me the plot to the Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it just uses more words to say less. For now, I'm sure it'll get better.
It's not. It's not. But as concise as I'd like it to be. I
was like, give me a genre, and it's like Blade Runner, and
Yeah.
And then it gives me 2 paragraphs to say oh, I don't know, like that. Morally ambiguous, somewhere in the middle there. I'm like, I asked you a yes or no question. You can't say maybe, you jerk. Anyway, no, it did a fine job. I'm not concerned about AI yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We do have a game. Did you want to play the game? We're running a little over, but I'm okay with continuing to play.
I'm okay with it if you want to run through a couple of them, just to get a couple of them going.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I can start.
Okay.
I was trying to pick big names that were kind of different in genre, so that we can try and find a way over to them in some way. Mm-hmm. So Adam Sandler and and Uma Thurman.
Adam Sandler and Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
Okay. Adam Sandler.
Oh wait, I didn't even say what game we're playing.
Oh.
We're playing 6 Degrees. We're playing 6 Degrees of Separation. 6 Degrees of Heat.
Yeah. So normally people do this with Kevin Bacon because he's been in everything, and you link an actor to Kevin Bacon. And now we're just doing it between two completely different actors, which makes it way more difficult.
Yeah, we got too good at doing it with Kevin Bacon. So
Uma Thurman.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
I think it's like Uma Thurman's in like so many things, and now I'm just trying to think of what has Adam Sandler been in that kind of could link him to Uma Thurman. I'm having a really tough time with this one. I'm having a tough time even starting. Let's go with Carl Weathers. So Adam Sandler and Carl Weathers in Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
Carl Weathers to let's go Schwarzenegger in Predator. Schwarzenegger to Bruce Willis in The Expendables 2.
Okay.
I think it was the second one that had Bruce Willis in it.
He's in both.
Bruce Willis to Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was really good. So what I had in mind when I did it was Adam Sandler to Drew Barrymore in The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
To Lucy Liu in Charlie's Angels to Uma Thurman in Kill Bill.
Oh. Wow. So you did it in 3 and I did it in 4?
Yeah, but I think it's easier to come up with the connections when you're coming up with the names than when you just get the name randomly. Because whenever you give me a name randomly, I'm like, I have no idea where to go.
Yeah. I think it's a stream of consciousness. That's the way I try and play it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me if I gave you this one last time, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
Billy Crystal and Jim Carrey.
No, I don't think that you did.
Okay.
Billy Crystal to Jim Carrey.
And I think this one took me 5.
Yeah, this can't be an easy one. So all right, let me just get off of Billy Crystal. When Harry Met Sally, I'll go to Meg Ryan.
Okay.
I'll go from Meg Ryan to Tom Hanks. In whatever, in Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
in Joe versus the Volcano. Who am I going to again? Jim Carrey. Tom Hanks has been in so many things and I can't think of anything. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Tom Hanks to Carrie Fisher in The Burbs. Carrie Fisher to Harrison Ford in Star Wars. Harrison Ford to... I don't even remember who I'm going to anymore. Jim Carrey?
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Harrison Ford to Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. Tommy Lee Jones to Jim Carrey in Batman Forever.
Okay, I think you did it in 6.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5 or 6.
It was 6, yeah.
Wow, that was good. I have no idea how I made that connection. But I did it in 5. But it was probably something similar.
Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey. Yeah, it was 6.
It was 6, yeah. Okay.
Jeez.
You want to give me the next one?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Okay.
And Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's the new James Bond guy.
Yes.
Okay. Daniel Craig is in Knives Out.
Yes.
Let me think of who's in Knives Out. That would be a good launching point. Let's go. Okay, so Daniel Craig is in Knives Out with Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Because Don Johnson is in it, I have to go through Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Don Johnson is mentioned in The Wedding Singer. I'm joking. Don Johnson is in Django Unchained with Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, wow.
Quentin Tarantino is in Reservoir Dogs with Steve Buscemi.
Wow. That was really, really good.
That's the power of Don Johnson.
Yes. That's funny. I don't remember how I connected it. I think that I had Steve Buscemi in Desperado with like Danny Trejo or something. I think I went through Danny Trejo.
Oh, nice. Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't think of Don Johnson, though. I don't remember how I got to Daniel Craig. Yeah. I should have written it down, but that's okay.
Okay, I've got the ladies on a hunt here. I've got Holly Hunter and Helen Hunt.
Okay. Holly Hunter is in Raising Arizona with Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage is in he's in way too many things for me to pick him. You know what's weird is that when you pick somebody who is like a huge name, that's when I get lost.
Yeah, because
like,
they're
that's
not
when
in.
I don't.
Yeah, because they're not in with other big names.
Yeah.
Because they're the name. Yeah.
It just completely. I just get completely baffled by it. Okay.
And, so on Nick Cage.
Yeah. All right. So Nick Cage. To Helen Hunt. Okay. Let's go Nick Cage to Sean Connery in The Rock.
Okay.
I'll go Sean Connery to oh my gosh. Oh man, I don't know. I am completely lost here. Let me start over here.
Uh-huh.
It's Holly Hunter, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Holly Hunter. I don't know who to go through other than Nick Cage. I guess I'm sticking with Nick Cage in Raising Arizona. Nick Cage to let's go Meryl Streep in Adaptation.
Okay.
Meryl Streep to Leonardo DiCaprio in Don't Look Up.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio to I don't know. I have no clue.
What do you think? Do you give up?
Yeah, you know what?
I did it in 3.
I give up. I can't figure out how to get off of like Holly Hunter onto like.
Okay. So I went Holly Hunter to Nick Cage in Raising Arizona, same as you.
Yeah.
And then Nick Cage is in a movie called Honeymoon in Vegas with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
Then Sarah Jessica Parker's
in Helen Hunt with Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how I did it. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good like pullout too. Like the Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have seen that movie.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Oh my gosh, that is a good one. Yeah. No, I was trying to think of like Jack Nicholson and Bill Paxton have both been in a movie with Helen Hunt, and I was like, Bill Paxton should be easy to get to.
Yeah.
And I just could not get to him. Like I couldn't figure it out.
You gotta not worry about the end result and just keep moving.
Well, I don't. It's hard.
Do you want to go through like 5 of them, or do you want to just do one more?
Let's do one more. We're going pretty over.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Okay.
And Matt Damon.
Jackie Chan to Matt Damon. Wow. Wow, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I go through... if I start with Jackie Chan, do I go through Owen Wilson, or do I go through Chris Tucker? Let's try Owen Wilson. Okay, so Jackie Chan to Owen Wilson in Shanghai Shanghai Noon.
Okay.
Both of them.
Either works.
Owen Wilson is in Tenenbaums is a good pick. He's also in Cable Guy. But then I'm trying to think if any of those guys are in like anything that Matt Damon would have been in. I'm wondering if there's like a link from them to Robin Williams or Ben Affleck, or I could go George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Holy cow! Yeah. Gosh, let's do Gwyneth Paltrow. So in Tenenbaums, there's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
Owen Wilson to Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow is in 7 with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is in Ocean's 11 with Matt Damon.
All right, that was well done. I actually went through Jaden Smith in Karate Kid, who is in Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Yes.
Who is in The Legend of Bagger Vance with Matt Damon.
Oh, yeah. Dude, wow. Right? That's a really good way to go.
Yeah.
Man, I never would have thought of Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. Last one? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got the Kristens here. I've got Kristen Stewart and Kristen Wiig. You're never gonna get this one.
You doing it in this way, I feel like, makes it almost more difficult.
What, that I'm like theming it? I'm making it a theme?
Yeah, because they're so like, I don't know. All right.
How hard could
they're
it be
so
to go
niche.
from one? How hard could it be to go from one Kristen to the next, though?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they're 1 degree away.
Yeah. They've got the same name.
Yeah. Okay, so Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
I mean, what is she even in? She's in Into the Wild.
Yes, that's a good one.
With Emile Hirsch.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I going to again? Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Emile Hirsch is in Alpha Dog.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I want to go into... I don't know if I want to do Alpha Dog. Let's do Alpha Dog.
Yeah.
With Anton Yelchin. Anton Yelchin is in Star Trek with Chris Pine. And Chris Pine is in Wonder Woman 1984 with Kristen Wiig.
Wow! Great one, dude. Yeah. I actually started with Kristen Wiig. I went Bridesmaids to Melissa McCarthy. Identity Thief to Justin Bateman. The Change Up to Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds to Adventureland, which has Kristen Stewart in it.
Oh, okay. So we both got it in 4.
I think you did it in 5, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, Emile Hirsch, Anton Yelchin, Pine, Wiig.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are some good pages. So until next time, brother.
All right.
I'll see you.